Hey guys, so in today's video, I wanted to share how to make your pet an emotional support animal, separate from emotional service animal. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in a previous video, I had talked about some of the benefits to having an emotional support animal, which is separate from an emotional service animal. So in the event that you are in a rental type situation or whatnot, and you want to have your pet be designated as an emotional support animal, the process to get that, at least as far as the US goes, is to get a letter from a doctor or a therapist that certifies that pet as an emotional support animal. So the thing with this is, when it comes to the legal realm of this stuff, there is a specific kind of wording, and if the person who writes the letter does not write it in a certain way legally to protect you and your pet from discrimination, you're gonna run into issues and they can be kind of costly with court. So the recommendation that I have been given by therapists and doctors is to have a therapist write the letter who specializes in this area. So there are some places such as Certipet.com or valideSAletter.com, where literally all their therapists do is certify and assess whether or not that pet that you have would be considered an emotional support animal. And those people have the training to write the letter the specific way it needs to be written to legally fully protect you. So even though it does cost a yearly fee, because these letters are kind of like prescriptions where you have to renew them every year, that for sure protection, to me, it's way cheaper than if you had to pay rent and a deposit every single month. So for me, it is well worth it. So I'm gonna leave a link to both of those places, Certipet.com and valideSA.com, in the description box below. I'm not being sponsored by either of these two, but I have used both of them, and always do your research to make sure that it is a legitimate and reputable company. There are some places that will try and scam. I can discuss my experiences with those two in another video. Usually how it works is you go to one of these websites, you learn about their process. It's usually something along the lines of you submitting an application, and then a therapist will usually reach out to you, as well as perhaps a customer service person, to schedule you with the therapist, and that therapist is going to assess you for whatever mental illness type things you have going on. So very common ones end up being depression and anxiety, especially with chronic illness. They're going to ask you questions like things that are going on in your life and what symptoms you have, how bad does it impact your day-to-day life, and how that animal provides you emotional support. So you can get more than one animal designated as an emotional support animal. I have two. One of my cats is really good with calming me down. Their personality is really calming, so that helps my anxiety. But then the other one is a lot better with depression because she's so darn cute. You see how they both help with treating and supporting different conditions. So you wouldn't be able to get like two pets to treat anxiety, two pets to treat depression. You know what I'm saying? Usually when that therapist calls you, they will go and either tell you up front that, hey, I'm certifying them or I'm not. Sometimes they'll say, hey, I'm going to review everything that I wrote down, and then I'll reach a decision and you'll get a letter sent in, usually email, to you. At that point, If you are approved, that letter is the letter that you can use to turn into your landlord for whatever protections you need. There are ESA things for airlines, but since I've never needed to use it, I've never gone through that process to really be able to speak on the emotional support animal on an airline type thing. I've only used it for the landlord rental thing, so I'm not being required to get rid of one of my pets because of their pet limit. If this is something you're thinking about doing, definitely do your research. It is a very quick process from my experience. I think it didn't take longer than a few days, because usually when I talk to a therapist, they would have a decision already made within 24 hours. So, and they email you the letter, so you have your stuff together pretty quickly within a few days. And then you would just have to go and renew that letter and basically like schedule another appointment with the therapist like a year later to certify that you still need an emotional support animal and this animal is still providing XYZ benefit. I do want to also clarify that if you already see a regular therapist for, you know, your day-to-day counseling, however that is, you can still use and have one of these counselors, because their purpose is not to counsel you every week, every 2 weeks, once a month, however you do it. Their sole job is to assess people and screen people. Do they qualify for an emotional support animal? And that's it. So don't think that this means you can't see a regular therapist, and don't think that if you have a regular therapist already, you can't, you know, sign up for one of these options to get your pet certified. That about wraps up the process. I would love to hear about your furry and scaly and feathery friends that you have at home, because they are such a blessing. So with that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Say hello. Don't look so excited. Love